Good afternoon sa lahat. Hindi naman ito question, Pastor. This is also related sa talk ni Pastor Rene kanina. I mentioned to Pastor Rans na there are cases na single ka, hindi dahil ginusto mo, kundi may pressure sa family. For myself as an example, ako na lang yung single sa family and I was asked to care for my sick parents. And may mga pressing issues, minsan ang mga siblings natin, sila na yung mag-decide kung saan ka mag-settle down, saan ka mag-move, kasi being the single in the family, ikaw na talaga yung 100% mag-alaga. I'm not sure kung may mga ganong sitwasyon dito, pero sa akin naman, I'm sure hindi tayo pababayaan ng God. Take also some time. Priority pa rin ang church. Kung may pagkakataon na you can bring your parents na mas malapit kung may church, pwede yun. But there are cases na kailangan uuwi ka na talaga sa hometown kasi ang ating mga matatanda at may sakit na parents, mahirap silang i-approve kung saan sila tumanda. So, siguro I suggest na kung nasa sitwasyon kayo na gano'n, you can seek counsel from your pastors, baka makabigay sila ng magandang payo. Kasi minsan, mas mabigat yung payo ng mga medical doctors. Sabihin ng mga doktor, ma'am, maski 10 caregivers pa yan, iba ang alaga ng anak. Yan yung naranasan ko.
Comment yata yun. Comment. Hindi naman sagot. Hindi naman sagot. Mukhang comment.
May ano ko kayo, Pastor?
Yung kaso niya na, I would say that it would still fall doon sa classification na tinorgo yung study to be eunuch for the sake of the kingdom. Kasi obedience yun sa Word of God, to honor your parents and yung law of love, to do what is best for at gusto mong maging testimony, gusto mong madala yung ebanghelyo. Pero tama rin naman yung sinabi mo na mag-seek ng counsel doon sa pastor. Kasi sometimes hindi naman kailangan talaga yung full-time tayo doon, baka merong solusyon naman. Pero kung wala talaga, kagaya mo, alam ko naman yung situation mo, na talaga parang yun na talaga yung pupuntahan ng situation.
Yeah. With the preaching this morning po, I think we can sum it up na i-maximize for the kingdom instead of earthly pleasures, yung singleness, phase of life, which is definite if until the Lord wills us to marry. Yung question is, does or should it include preparing for marriage without the intention of possibly sinful, assuming getting married later? So, how do you balance it out with this generation na hindi encouraged enough or timid towards marriage? Especially men daw. Especially men. Who consequently grow old but not mature and prepare for marriage.
Kanina ba yan?
Sa'yo yata yung Pastor. Morning.
How do you prepare for marriage? Kasi minsan tayo, ang marriage, we always look for the right person eh. You prepare for marriage by being the right person.
Yeah.
Ikaw yung katulad ng sinabi niya, you study, you serve, yung being the right person, yun ang preparation for marriage. Hindi lang, baka iniisip yung material preparation. Okay din yun. Pero more than the material preparation, yung prepare tayo to lead the family, to yun ang dapat nating tignan. Being the right person.
Okay. Meron pong sa paper, may nagsulat ba sa box?
Kasi pag wala nagtanong, ako magtatanong sa akin. Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Sabi ko nga nung time namin, pagka-graduate ng college, ang iniisip kagad, mag-asawa na ako. Parang yun na lang ang pupuntahan na kagad eh. Pagka mga 21, 22 ka na wala ka pang prospect of marriage, eh talagang, yung nakatakot na yun. Parang tatanda akong binata, yung gano'n na. Pero ngayon, 30 years old na, past 30 na, hindi pa ako prepared eh. Saka na muna. What's keeping you?
Yeah.
Ano yung nakakapigil? Anong reason? Bakit pinoprolong yung singlehood?
Magtuturo ba ako kasi?
Hindi. Sige, Pastor. Sagutin mo.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to be Paul. I want to be like Paul.
Oo nga, like Paul. Okay. Maganda sagot.
Hindi nga. Honestly.
Yeah.
Bakit? Dahil ba yun ang trend?
Yeah.
O meron kayong gusto pang i-accomplish?
Yeah.
Meron pa kayong gustong, what? Maintindihan ko yung walang makita talaga.
Taas na lang ng kamay. Pera. Travel goals.
O hindi man sa inyo, siguro may alam kayo dun sa mga kakilala yung single. Ano yung ano? Matutulungan niyo kami mga pastor na mag...
Or questions, pwede i-interrupt naman.
Ay, tiyata meron.
Sasagutin.
Sasagutin, yeah.
Hello po, magandang hapon, Pastor. Ano po, nakarelate ako dun sa tanong ni Pastor. As a Christian woman po, tapos I'm turning 35 na this August, parang andun yung pressure, konti lang po, medyo may konting pressure. Kasi yung batchmates ko, kinakasal na po, ganyan. Pero sa naging case ko po kasi, parang wala po talagang nag-pursue na believer po. So, nagtataka rin po ako, like, sa experience ko, parang, bakit yung unbelievers yung nag-ask out pa, medyo ganun po. So, I believe I prepared naman, parang for the longest time. Longest time ako, parang, wala na po kung, hindi naman ako parang mga travel blogs or yung nagwawaldas po ng pera, parang makita si Taylor Swift. Wala naman po ganun yung part. I think parang andun yung naging responsible ko. Naging breadwinner po kasi for a time. Kaya po, medyo, nakarelate lang ako. So, kaya po na-prolong yung single. May parang kumbaga may kanya-kanya tayong journey or story. Kasi timing din po ni Lord. Plus, I believe protection ni God. Parang nilayo niya ako sa mga maling
The Lord will not withhold anything that is good for you. Ang gusto ko lang sigurong idagdag, ang mga singles kasi, yung mga lalaki naghahanap ng manliligawan, yung mga babae naghahanap ng manliligaw. Our goal should be to expand our friendship. Widen natin yung circle of friendship natin as much as we can. And then from the general crowd ng friends natin, develop natin yung closer relationship without color, closer relationship sa marami, hanggang sa pakonti na ng pakonti. Dahil eto mas close ako rito, from among that, eto mas close ako. Then ang lagi ko sinasabi, marry your best friend. Naalala ko nung kailan, yung naging speaker ako sa kanila about yung kanilang couples fellowship. May isang tumayo doon, yung isang preacher nila, na nagpasalamat sa akin, hindi ko alam kasi yun ang tinuro ko sa kanya, yun ang ginaya ko yung kay Christ. Si Christ meron siyang circle of acquaintances, 1,000 yun. Pagkatapos from them, meron siyang mga 500 na closer sa kanya. From the 500, meron siyang 12. O may 80 muna. Tapos from the 80, may 12 siya. And from the 12, meron siyang closest na 3. And from the 3, meron siyang closest na 1. Ibig sabihin, may level yung kanyang... So, kung si Christ ganun, dapat ganun din tayo. Nire-raise natin hanggang sa makita natin yung best friend, then marry your best friend. Sabi nung marinig daw niya yon, naisip kagad niya yung isang closest friend niya sa opposite sex. Kaya nilapitan niya, will you marry me? Huwag nating hanapin yung niligawan o manliligaw. I-open natin. Kasi may maraming mga times, at my age, I'm 70, at my age, sa mga experiences, sa mga counseling, maraming lumalampas na yung unang tingin mo, unang impression mo, hindi ito papasa. Hindi ko gusto ito. At marami rin mga, lalo na yung mga lalaki naghahanap, ito, gusto ko to. Marami doon na in-ignore mo, but it would turn out na yun pala yung ano. Kung kinaibigan ko lang ito, yun sana yung naging maano sa akin. Kaya, huwag tayo maghanap ng magiging asawa. Maghanap tayo ng kakaibiganin natin and raise the level of friendship hanggang ma-raise natin yung intimacy. Then marry your best friend.
Ayun, Paz. Thank you po. In connection lang po dun sa nabanggit niyo po kanina, kasi we were talking here. Si girl kasi, like, we have no choice but to wait. Like, it's awkward naman na we'll tap our best friend and we'll ask them if they will marry us. So, is there a biblical reference for that na the woman or the girl will ask the guy for a date or let's say for a romantic relationship, something like that, Pas? Kasi maybe most guys are intimidated or torpe. Kasi pansin ko pa sa society, masyadong mga babae independent, strong, independent woman because na-raise up kami na responsible ng parents namin. So tendencies are, guys are kind of, like, I'm talking about myself, napapansin ko po they're intimidated at me kasi tas yung standard ko. Ayun po. So, how to reconcile that situation? Or is there a biblical basis that the girl will make the first move?
I believe when it comes to yung ganyang intimate relationship, yung romantic link, ang initiator niya dapat yung lalaki lagi. Kasi we are created to lead. Even yung psychological aspect, ang lalaki attracted yan sa look. Madali siyang ma-provoke pag nakita niya. Pero yung babae, pinupurso yan. Pagka na-treat siya in a gentle and a manly way, doon siya nag-start na mag-consider. So based on that, kapag ka ikaw ang nag-initiate, na-reverse ngayon yun. Ang makukuha mong lalaki is wait. Kasi ang tunay na lalaki, mata-turn off doon sa aggressive na babae. From my experience, I'm not attracted doon sa mga nagiging aggressive na siya yung I tend to shy away doon sa mga ganon. Yung femininity is enhanced in the presence of a masculine. And masculinity is enhanced in the presence of a feminine. The more feminine you are, the more you will attract masculine guy. Pag inaas mo yung sarili mo, ikaw ang nag-initiate, makukuha mo yung weak. Lalo na yung mga hindi marunong makirelate sa babae, hindi marunong makirelate sa opposite sex, pag nagpakita ka ron, in their weakness, iisipin nila, kala nila, uy, kami na yata. Kikiligin na kagad yun, wala na, dala na ng yung. Tapos, pag naging kayo ng magka-relasyon, matututo ngayon siya makirelate sa opposite sex. Tapos may makikita siyang mas gentle, mas quiet in spirit. Iwanan ka na, no? Dahil ikaw nagturo sa kanya na, so yun ang nangyayari. But walang makakabawal sa iyo to establish friendship. Merong isang pastor that I know, yung anak niya, isa na lang na hindi pa nakapag-asawa, mukhang strong, pero intelligent. Ang ginagawa niya, nagpapa-fellowship siya sa bahay niya, yung mga kasama-sama, lalaki, babae, tapos yung anak niya ginagawa niyang host. siya nag-hostess yung anak niya, siya nag-entertain. So napansin ng mga lalaki, babae, na pwede mo pala itong friendly naman pala. So doon nagsimula, at ngayon dalawa na anak nila.
Hello po. So I was not able to attend your morning session earlier. I think you, in relation to what you said, Pastor Rene, earlier, yung gusto nyo maintindihan bakit currently, parang yung trend is 30s, mid-30s, saka lang nag-aasawa. I think, at least sa circle ko, I've heard, sa circle ko na we're in our 30s or mid-30s, 40s, at least two of them I heard. One reason is sa childbearing. Like for example, we know how is the LGBT movement now in the Philippines. It has entered education, sa workplace. So parang sa kanya, gusto ko ba bang maranasan na magiging anak ko yung mga ganong paghihirap. Then yung isa naman because of family, because parang at an early age yung mom niya, parang nabilda ka agad. So parang sa kanya is dahil sa mga sakit-sakit, parang ayaw niyang maranasan baka sakaling mag-aasawa siya, tapos mamamatay agad yung partner niya. So like that. And ako naman, I think it boils down to yung lack of understanding of God's sovereignty in our lives. And I think also it parang kaya meron siyang effect kasi at least to some churches I know, hindi nabibigyan pansin yung mga ganitong usapin in terms of how to prepare the youth, the young adults to sa ganitong season of life. So I think God and yung Repub community for holding such conferences po, no? Like yun nga, hindi siya, parang taboo siya sa ibang churches to talk about this. And it's important kasi if hindi sa church manggagaling yung council about this, they will, magpapadala sa pressure ng society. And I think you would agree na some couples now, hindi nagde-decide to have child, instead, pets na lang, cats na lang. You go somewhere, yung mga nakalagay sa stroller, cats, dogs. So, yung mga ganun. So, I think churches, yung sa church dapat mag-start yung usapin about this. Kasi if not, they will seek counsel sa iba and sometimes, yun nga, due to pressure, hindi na siya nagagawa. For me naman, speaking for myself, relating to what Pastor Rodel kanina, yung devotion. Kasi I've been asking them, kasi hindi naman ganun kataas yung standards ko, aside of course from essential, yung may tamang doktrina, di ba, may nasa tamang theology, pero yung mga sub-standards. Pero I think yung sa akin kasi yung devotion ko, I have the freedom pero masyado akong workaholic. So I spend most of my time sa workplace naman. So I think yun yung some struggles and yung I think makaka-relate ng iba na parang yun nga, I have the money, I have the time. Enjoyin ko muna na sobrang enjoy naman yung pagiging single na career-oriented and yung mga pleasures. Again, it boils down to yung lack of understanding of God's sovereignty, yung providence niya. So again, yung sinabi ko kanina, it should start sa churches talaga yung ganitong klaseng mga usapin. Ayun po.
Yes, kasi pagka hindi, matututo ka talaga sa Hollywood, sa mga entertainment, na boy meets girl, and they live happily ever after. Ang isang bagay lang, just be sure na kaya natin napuprolong yung ating singlehood is because of the kingdom. Otherwise, kung sa work lang, sa mga ibang concern lang, pag you go past marrying age, you will live with lots of regrets. Sana nagbigay ako ng time sa friendship, sana nagbigay ako rito. But pag sa kingdom mo, ginugol yun, walang regrets yun. You will enjoy you will experience the joy of communing with the Lord.
Well, my comment, just in addition to that, my comment is that we should be wary of using, for example, our career as a substitute for, say, a relationship. No? In other words, what I'm trying to say is, sige, magpapakalunod na lang ako rito since wala akong makita kung lalaki kayo or wala naman nagko-court sa akin kung babae ako. So, siguro, let's bear in mind yung priorities, yung personal, spiritual life natin. Tapos, kung gusto natin ibuhos, sana yung church. Huwag natin kalimutan. So, this is not to say, huwag tayong mag-excel sa ating career o huwag tayong magbuhos sa ating career. But again, just consider yung mga priorities natin. Sana hindi mawala yung church, no? Otherwise, ako lang, suspicion ko is that there's always that temptation kasi we always are trying to find our identities. We're trying to find our value into something. Baka dun sa career nga mabuhos. Kasi sa career, madali ang praises, may promotion, madali ang pera. Kasi of course, as you advance in your career, you get more and more money. So the incentive system is biased towards that. No, sa church, pag minsan hindi minsan nga, nagtatrabaho ka na, hindi ka mapansin ni pastor, wala man lang nagpapasalamat. No, sabi nga ng iba, minsan thankless talaga yung church. Kahit kami mga pastor, minsan na-feel namin yon. So may mga challenges sa church, baka mag-give up tayo. No, so again, I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm not saying huwag kayo magkaroon ng career, but I hope you will not forget to also put the church and kingdom work in your priorities. And ingat lang tayo. Again, it's hard to be dogmatic in these areas kasi iba-ibang situation, gaya ng sabi nyo, iba-iba yung ating family situation. So, but just, I think, for me, just bear that in mind. Otherwise, baka doon tayo mapunta sa career, makaligtaan yung iba, mahalagang bagay. Yun lang gusto ko lang.
Ganda nga po, Pastor, thank you po sa message. In light po dun sa contrasts na nabanggit sa 1 Corinthians 7 between those na married and unmarried, kapag po tinignan sa lens ng Reformed theology, yung contrasts po na yun, may malpractices or false doctrines po ba na nagpo-persist sa entire, like let's say yung 100% ng Christian movement sa buong mundo? Yun po.
Parang, hindi ko nakuha yung brother yung ano yung false teaching. Ano example ng brother? Pwede paki-cite. Pwede paki...
Yung tatanong ko kung may persisting na, like, for the lack of the better term, malpractices po or false doctrines kapag tinignan sa lens ng Reformed theology.
Related sa 1 Corinthians.
Apo, 1 Corinthians 7, yung mga contrasts po.
Well, I can see may possible extremes. On the one hand nga, yung those advocating or elevating yung celibacy as we know, even in our country, yung sa Roman Catholic religion, in-elevate yung pagiging single. Pero meron ding daw trend ngayon na parang binabaliwala naman yung pagiging single. In other words, parang hindi siya binibigyan ng proper appreciation. So that could be one. But specifically on Reformed theology, I don't know if you are referring, for example, to the role of divine sovereignty. No? For example, yun na nga, pwedeng gawing cop-out na, well, yun ang kalooban ng Panginoon. In fact, tomorrow, that will be part of my message. God made me do it. Yung sinasabi, divine sovereignty. So, palaging parang sinisisi without, kaya pala hindi magkaasawa, for example, hindi sinusunod yung nabanggit ni Pastor Rene kanina, for example, hindi naghahanda, hindi nakikipagkaibigan, tapos sinisisi yung divine sovereignty. Kaya wala akong pakuha kasi tinalaga ng Panginoon yan. Now, when in fact, we have a human responsibility. So, kailangan nating i-balance. And vice versa. Ganon din naman yung sa single, hindi natin pwedeng sisihin ng Panginoon kasi meron tayong obligation. Kung ginawa na natin lahat yung magagawa natin, as we have heard from our sister here, tas wala pa rin kinagkaloob ang Panginoon, that's siguro the time to conclude na by His providence, God in His sovereignty, wants us to be either married or not married. So I'm not sure, brothers, that's something na, okay ba yan? Okay. Thank you for that question.
Hello po, good afternoon. I'm from Iligan City, and I am actually a Bible study leader, and I share sessions to young children. And one of my goal is to give them an examples of how to live life, or perhaps in their growth of life. And one of the questions that I have is hypothetical situation. May isang bata na lumaki And he did not, as you pastors have discussed earlier, he did not waste, and he took or maximized his life as a single. So he grew in the church, shared the word, leading ministries. He took into every activity in the church as possible. And then at some particular moment, or at some point of time, sometime, he decided na mag-military, or perhaps a plantation worker, where the plant needs to be on in 24 hours, so he couldn't attend churches, he could not attend ministries, activities anymore. And some point, he grew up, he married, and he cannot attend the church anymore. So my first question is, can this be, or can his singlehood days be considered squandered or wasted?
Wasted.
Or is it
Wasted no.
maximized?
Wasted
Can we
naman.
make him a good or bad example to be?
Wasted daw ba?
Wasted life. He grew up to be a, so from childhood, he was faithful in everything until
Plantation worker.
naging plantation worker, naging military man siya,
Hindi natin.
cannot attend.
Yeah.
Anything that we do that would take us away from, sabi ko, yung generic duty mo, yung generic responsibility, like attending the church, anything that can take us away and we take willingly, I believe you're wasting your time in those things. Dapat unahin natin yung clear mandate sa atin, yung clear directives ng ating Panginoon. Bawa yung going abroad, magpupunta sa Saudi para kumita. Ang unang-unang tinatanong sa kanya, what about the church? What about your family? You'll be wasting your time pursuing something else other than what you are clearly commanded by God to do. Kaya maraming mga jobs na I won't advise Christians to do.
So we can condemn those jobs.
No. I'm not condemning those jobs kasi man by unbelievers naman yung mga yun eh. Karamihan doon sa mga yun eh. I'll give you an example, hindi ako nagpaalam kay Patrick. When he arrived in our church, pasakay na yun ang barko. And it just took me siguro mga several sa kanya, counseling sessions. Ang sinabi ko lang sa kanya, how can you perform what is clearly mandated by the scripture? At nakita niya, he decided, hindi na lang siya sumakay ng barko.
Okay, can I comment on a hypothetical example? So in this case, to cite another example, it could be, let's say for example, a woman, just following that example, brother, no, kung tama yung interpretation ko. So that woman prepared herself, learned how to cook, prepared for a married life kasi wanting to be married at some point. But, so I think the key question is, yung bang pinuntahan niyang whatever calling, let's say military, no, is it the will of God? I think that's the crux of that issue, no? Kung pumunta siya doon against the will of God, in other words, clearly may nagsabi na sa kanya, may nag-counsel na, we don't think it's biblical, you know, it's healthy for you spiritually, walang church yan and so on, but ka nagpuntang plantation worker in that plantation. Kasi yung plantation workers, may babae din naman, di ba? So, for me, that could be going against the will of the Lord. Pero kung halimbawa, talaga na sa community nila, wala nang ibang option. Ang trabaho lang talaga is to work in that plantation. Tapos, as a result of that, di na siya nagkaasawa, then, probably it's not a waste. No? Hindi yun a waste. Kasi, again, providentially, in the secret counsels of God, merong mga bagay na akala natin na waste, pero hindi naman pala. For example, nung dumating siya sa plantation work na yon, baka meron siyang nakita na mga hindi naman orphans, pero mga bata na kulang yung nag-aalaga. Pero since natuto siya magluto, natuto siyang handle the household, maybe she can start a ministry for those children. So nagamit niya. So, hypothetically, I would look also at what drove that person to go into that career. Kaya hindi siya nakapag-asawa. Kung tama naman, biblically valid, I wouldn't say na kaya. Hypothetically.
Saka parang ang point yata niya, nasayang ba yung from childhood?
Yung preparation.
Nasayang ba yung
Yung preparation.
Na-miss ko yung...
Yeah.
Tama yung sabi niya, we act according to what we believe is the will of God.
Yeah.
Regardless of how it would end up in the future.
That's right.
Kagaya ko, I took up engineering. Hirap na hirap kami noon, pero gusto ko talaga makatapos. Nag-working student ako, konti-konti lang. Magna nga ako nun magna 9 years bago ako bago ako gumraduate, at unti-unti lang. Then finally, nakagraduate ako. Matanda na ako nung graduate. Patigil-tigil ako noon. Nasayang ba lahat yung pagiging magna ko? Mag 9 years sa college. Nasayang ba lahat yun? No. Ginawa ko yun because I believe that that is the will of God. I must finish this. Na-convert ako sa middle ng college life ko eh. Pero sinimulan ko to, itong will ng Panginoon, involved pa rin ako sa ministry dito sa school, ginawa ko yon. Tapos nung makagraduate ako, nagkaroon naman ako ng burden sa ministry. So yung, hindi pa na-graduate eh, yung last 2 semesters ko, pumasok agad sa Bible school, sinabay ko sa last 2 semesters ko ng college. Nag-Bible school ka rin ako, tapos nag-end up ako pasok. Nasayang ba yung preparation ko? No. As I look back, marami akong natutunan sa buhay, spiritually, emotionally, socially, dun sa mga pinagdaanan ko. So hindi nasayang yun kasi sabi nga ni Pastor Martin, lagi sinabi niya sa akin na what you saw in belief, do not uproot in unbelief. Kung tinanim mo yun, dahil naniniwala kayo ng kalooban ng Panginoon, later on in the future, huwag mo bunutin yun dahil because of unbelief, naitanim mo na yun.
May second question pa yata. Do you have another? Sabi mo, Brad, first pa lang yun. Do you have another one?
Follow-up lang din. I tried justifying my reasoning on that particular question because the only example that I can find is the centurion servant, where Jesus said, no one in Israel has, I have seen no faith like Israel at this man, something like that. So, that's the only example. So, my question is, in what ways exactly can we check, or what criteria, what checklist can we make for ourselves? We could say that our singlehood is not wasted or is maximized.
Yeah.
So, yan po. Thank you.
I think what we have said earlier could be some guidelines, as mentioned by Paul. Taking advantage of your time, making wise use of it, preparing yourself to be, if you're a man, some trade, for example, and of course leadership, spiritually, and so on. So I think all of those, in short, if you summarize it, wala namang special talaga, no? It's just basically what a Christian man or woman should do or should be. Growing in relationship to the Lord, serving the church, finding he who does not work should not eat, so finding some area of service. So halos lahat naman yun, gagawin din ng isang Kristiyano, kahit na may plano siyang mag-asawa o hindi. So I think hindi naman ganun ka-different. No? We will do a lot of the same things. And so if you're just faithful in those things, I think you're on the right track, brother. Napakasaya pagtanong.
Single kasi po, usually, nandiyan po yung mga qualities ng loneliness, yung mga discouragements minsan, especially pag nakikita niyo yung mga peers niyo na ayun, nakaprogress na yung life. Ano po yung pwedeng comfort ng single during this time na probably ginagamit siya ng Panginoon ng singlehood. At the same time, may probability rin na tawagin siya rin ng Panginoon through lifetime of singleness. Ano po yung pwede niya maging comfort?
Sige yan, ikaw muna. Please talk to your pastor. Ikaw muna.
Hindi natin talaga maalis. In this fallen world, when you follow the Lord, there will always be suffering. You will always have to give up many things. And hindi natin maalis na may loneliness talaga. If you would read yung mga single na mga missionaries, they admit, malungkot sila doon sa area nyon. But as they immerse themselves into the work of the Lord, mas greater yung joy na nakukuha nila ron. Siguro, pag mag-isa ka na lang, pag tutulog ka na, maramdaman mo yun. Pero yung, ang solution doon is you immerse yourself even deeper into the ways of the Lord, yung gawain ng Panginoon. Saka isang bagay na sinasabi ko dun sa mga single, kapag yung isang single is so discontented and so unhappy being single, na yung laman ng isip niya, doon na lang sa pursuit ng bagay na yun, he will never be happy and enjoy married life. The reason being is that kapag sobrang intense dun sa gusto kong mag-asawa, kapag sobrang ganun, ibig sabihin, you're not thinking in terms of yung concerns of the kingdom. May selfishness ka ron. I-enjoy mo lang, it's not really the concerns of the kingdom. At yung selfishness mo yun, ililipat mo lang yun doon sa married life. Ililipat mo lang yun doon, and what trouble can it give you? Dalawa na kayo, and most likely, baka selfish din yun ang pangasawa mo na ganun din. Dalawang selfish nagsama, mas mahirap yun, pero pag dalawang dedicated to the Lord, dedicated ka sa Panginoon, magandang main. Kaya huwag natin gawing reason that I want to get married dahil malungkot ako, dahil tumatanda na ako, baka lumampas na ako. Hindi yun. The only reason na gagawin natin that I want to get married is because the Lord has given me yung right person, and I believe I'm the right person sa Kanya. That's the only reason.
FYI lang, ako yung pastor ni Japet. Ano? Makakala nyo, binara ko si Japet. So, gusto ko lang clarify yun. But the other thing I want to emphasize, yung sinabi ni Pastor Rene kanina this morning, na hindi natin masyado na-emphasize ngayon sa open forum, yung eschatological hope natin, wala nang married relations sa new heaven and earth. So, in a sense, ngayon lang yan. So, huwag kayong mag-alala kahit, let's face the brutal fact, not all of you will actually be able to get married. No, kasi nabanggit din ni Pastor yan, by virtue of statistics, maraming lalaki, maraming babae, or vice versa. May mga churches na kukunti lalaki or babae or vice versa. So tanggapin natin yung katotohanan na pwedeng mangyari yun, pero huwag tayong mawala ng pag-asa. Kasi nga, when the Lord comes and we see our Lord Jesus Christ, I can definitely say, based on the authority of the Word, malilimutan yung lahat yung kalungkutan na yan. At ang magiging tanong nyo, bakit ba ako nalulungkot noon? Ba't kung pag gustong mag-asawa, laking sarap pala nitong aking estado. Bakit? Kasi ang talagang asawa natin ang Panginoong Jesus. Based on Ephesians, ano? So in short, parang sinasabi ng Panginoon, mas masarap siyang makasama kaysa sa isang asawa when we see Him on that blessed day. So sana maalala din natin yung katotohanan na yun na nabanggit na kanina ko. Salamat.
Okay, thank you sa ating mga speakers. Thank you.